So let's make sure that we add the links to our socials there, right? That's why they're there. So let's go to our header, and keeping with the tradition of this, we're just going to copy that and try to access that information here. So here, like for example, on the Facebook, we just have to add an href there. I'm going to replace that with href and do this, paste like so. And so this one is Facebook link, like so. And then this other one is Twitter link. So I'm just going to copy link here so I don't have to type it all the time. And LinkedIn link, weird. I have no idea. Is it like this? Now, the thing is, I didn't put a provision here for what happens when we can't find what we are looking for. So this one is website underscore link, and this other one is Google plus, Google plus link, like so. Let me just check the database just to, oh, I don't need to go there actually. Linked, wait a minute, LinkedIn link, so there's no dash here. So I didn't put what actually should show. So let's go back to the settings class here and return name, right? So what I can do is I can say if is set that, right? If that is set, then let's return it. However, if it is not, we're just going to return an empty string like that. Okay, so we are good to go here. Back here, and let's refresh. Okay, so if I look here, I have a link to Facebook. Now the issue is the links to these things should not contain, should have HTTPS at the very beginning. So let me come back here for a second and refresh the page. So here it's www.facebook, and that is a problem because you need HTTPS for it to know that this is an external link. So either we should add that manually, or we can check if it exists or not. But I think an instruction to the admin here would make sense so that they know an example, maybe to give them an example in the what's this, in the placeholder here, so that they know an example of what to put there. So I think that's not really a big issue. The only thing is you don't want your website to be replaced by those socials. So what we're going to do is put target here like so. Let's say target, target is equal to underscore new, like that, so that it goes to a new page. We don't have to close this, because if I click here now, it's going to change this as it is. But if I refresh now and click there, it's going to open a new tab, which will take me to the actual link that I want. Now, the reason it's not going to Facebook, trying to find Facebook, is because there's no HTTP or HTTPS at the beginning of the link. There's localhost instead. So that's a thing that should be dealt with when saving the settings. Here, you have to include HTTP. So let me try that. HTTPS, like that, :/. And then let me save that. Save. Oh, so there we have a problem now. Trait setting not found. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, to check if we are able to still do this. So let's see what we can do about this current conundrum. So what I will do is I will go to the admin section here. So now that we don't have a trait called setting, we can't do this no more. Can't do that no more. So all we have to do now is go back to the settings class, and because I want to be able to access it statically, I want to keep say static here. I don't want to instantiate. Now, even though I have some static methods in here, I can still create an instance of this class. Not really a big deal. If that's what I want to do, I can. So let's come back here and see how that can be done. So if I come back to admin, now the reason it's okay to do an instance here is because we are just saving settings. We're not doing this on every page, so it's okay to instantiate the class over here just so I can use it here. The only problem is that we added the class in the core folder and not in the models folder. So if we try to load model, it's not going to find it. So I guess here we have no choice but to either instantiate it manually or to run it as a static version. So the first way to do this is, see here it says this, but let's change the this to setting with a capital like that, settings. I'll copy that and I'll put it here as well. I think that's about it. So instead of using load model here, I can still do settings is equal to new settings, like so. Okay. The reason I can do this is because it's already loaded. This function, you may be wondering why do it this way when I can do it this way. This looks shorter, right? The only issue is that this function right here includes the file as well. So it loads the actual file and then it creates an instance. So it does two things. Doing it this way only creates an instance of a file that's already loaded. So the problem with the reason we're not doing this for all the classes is because there are many classes here. So the class list is building up slowly like this, and pretty soon if you have a big project you can have 10-20 classes in here. Now the problem is if you load all the classes every time you run something, it's going to slow down your system. So doing it this way, only make sure that you only load the file that you need at that time. So just when I need this user file, this user class is when I'm going to load it. But if I don't need it, I don't load it. So this is why it's better to do it that way than to do it this way. Now here we can do it like this because we've already added our class to the core here, so it will always be available. All right, so enough said. Let's try and see if it's going to save this time. So refresh, resend. So it seems it had no quarrels doing that, which is pretty cool. So let me refresh here. Now if I do click on the Facebook icon, it's going to take me to a blank page and try to load my Facebook. But of course I don't want to load that, so I will cancel it. But this is how things work here. So let's say, for example, if we go back to here, let me come back to my socials.php, right? So yeah, okay, so this is the issue here. The thing is, we are looping through these guys and only making sure that oh, I see. So placeholders are going to be a little bit tough here. Yeah, I see, because we are looping through this. Not really the best way to do things. So maybe we can just copy what we have done here, copy that and just add placeholder like so and paste it there. So refresh. Oopsie. So string replace placeholder. Okay, so it's because it automatically put an angle bracket there, so try to remove that, and there we go. A LinkedIn link, Google Plus link, website link. So I guess it works like that, but what I wanted was an example here. But you can put a message somewhere there to just make sure that they add this. Or if, for example, you don't want to go through the hassle of this, what you can do is you can, let me copy this, copy, and then I'm going to go back here to the settings class, and where we are saving settings here, so save all settings here. Now if the key contains so this is a setting here and this is the value, so I am going to ask the question here and say if key, let me use string here, string like that. So if the string contains, so the haystack is the key, right, and the needle is what we are looking for. We are looking for underscore link, like so, because if you notice all the keys that are supposed to have a link have link at the end, so Facebook link, Twitter link, LinkedIn link, blah blah blah. So those I know are supposed to be links, right? So what I can do here is put some code to make sure that I get what I want. Since we don't have what's this, we are not validating this data, we can auto validate without bothering the user here. So value, if the key contains link, so this is this one right here, so we're going to change value. So first of all, we're going to check if value has the HTTPS in it. So I'm going to say if string, the haystack is the value this time, and then what are we looking for? We are looking for HTTP, like that, or HTTPS, because all of these guys have HTTPS / like so. Okay, so if it doesn't have that, okay, let me come back here and do that. So if it has that, we're going to ignore, but let's put an exclamation point here and say if it doesn't have it, then we're going to add it there. So come here, actually we don't need the exclamation point. Let me just duplicate this, put an else statement, move this downward, like so. Pretty cool. So if it has this, then we just do it straightforward. If it doesn't, or maybe instead of doing else if else, let me move this out like so and simply remove the else statement. It's always better without the else. So what I would do instead, I'll put the not here, and if it doesn't, I'm just going to change value itself. So value is equal to HTTP and value, like so, HTTPS and value. Okay, that way we actually save the link with HTTPS. So you can do all kinds of manipulation there to check for everything just to make sure. So if I do remove, or if I do save the Twitter, save, now you will see that Twitter has that. Okay, now obviously we have seen this problem right here. This isn't cool, right? So I have to make sure that if it doesn't have this, and so if it is not empty, right, if trim value, because we don't want to add HTTPS to it, but you know, sometimes you may leave it like this just to encourage them to type something at the very end there, you know, it could be a good thing. That way they just begin typing from the very end, but it depends what you want. So if you don't want that HTTPS to be showing, you can just say if trim value is not equal to empty, And if it's not empty and this is not there, then add it. So this way we are going to remove these and save, and they won't appear there anymore. But these guys, if I try to remove the HTTPS and hit save, I still get it back, whether you like it or not. So right now, if I click on Twitter, it will redirect me to the Twitter page. Okay, so close that. Google Plus. All right, so things be looking up and working well for our settings. So far so good. We are practically done with settings, except to add more settings as we need, because for example we are going to need settings for the these settings for the, what is this, the slider. Yes, we need to save these images and the text that comes with them inside our settings. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video where we will do that.